your workout or something.
Hey, welcome to Bears Banter. My name is Bernard. Tonight on the broadcast, you have Plank, Jay, and Tim. How everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Man, make it fine, dog. Make it fine.
Okay. Hey, Guy won't be able to make it on the broadcast tonight, and Tammy won't be able to make it on the broadcast tonight. Yesterday night, Chicago Bears fall 12-7 to the Washington Commanders. Is that hard to believe?
Very.
Very hard to believe. I mean, Tim, I know you're coming on as a guest tonight. You got any thoughts that come to mind right away about
I got a lot of thoughts. Q. First and foremost, again, thank you for having me on as a guest. But the reality is that, the roster as it's comprised doesn't give us the opportunity to win too many games because a lot of these cats, they have shown that they're just not ready to play in NFL games. Pettis had the big catch, but Pettis has dropped a lot of balls. Smith Martin really shouldn't be playing NFL football. Maybe that nature, but Smith Martin is bad. He's really bad. And so I just think, we're going to have to pretty much do a roster overhaul, man, to be competitive going forward. With all this free agent money that we're supposed to be saving, close to $100 million. I'm hopeful, and I'm really want to see them go out and get some players that are at least competent. Because right now, I don't see competent players that are being rolled out from week to week, and nobody's getting cut either. Which, what's going on with the culture? You're allowing this type of underperformance to just. It's like it's okay. So yeah, I understand that.
So Jay, what did you see in the game? I mean, some of your first thoughts. I mean, we had about 24 hours to decompress.
We're a bad football team, and that's just the bottom line. we are a bad football team. To piggyback off what Tim said, he was like, he don't see nobody being cut, but we ain't got nobody to bring up. We're just a bad football team. And the sad thing about being a bad football team that get breaks because you're playing a bad football team, you don't capitalize. Our roster is just as bad as Washington's roster. And we just didn't compromise because we were in the red zone 3 times. And they come away with any points. And you just, in the NFL, you just can't do that. You just can't do it. And the bottom line is, outside of the atrocity of the game and how bad it was, we still had an opportunity to win. And that's sad. But that just shows you that the competition that we were playing is just as bad as us. And it's all about, like I said a couple of weeks ago, who wants it more. And, we just a bad football team.
Hey, Plank, I know you was there watching the game yesterday. And watching the game, what did you see from a viewpoint? Because we had a real good view of the game.
Yeah, y'all did.
Right there
yeah, y'all did.
It looked like it. Yeah, it looked like it.
We almost could hear the sideline if it wasn't so loud.
Yeah. I take this loss personally. Partly because when I got up to go to this game and asked me, could I play wide receiver? And, I didn't actually have a whole lot of skill playing wide receiver, so I wasn't confident in going out there. And we couldn't find Jay, even though he was at the game. If I had been able to run into Jay, I think we'd have won that game because he could have gave us a good 2 catches or something like that. No, but at the end of the day, what all of the Bears fans are, myself included, we're angry that the team is more competitive than they actually have any right to be. We've played 6 games, we've lost 4, but each game has been within 1 score. So we're actually judging the Bears based on the outcome that we're looking for them to get. And I think that's fair. However, with the way that the team was constructed and the way that the team has to be constructed, we pretty much should expect this kind of game and this kind of output every game. they'll be able to keep it close. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to win, but hopefully we are trying to set a foundation and a framework and build something for the future. That's the only thing I can do to even have a positive outlook on this.
But I want to piggyback off of something. I want to piggyback.
I'm sorry, Jay. I think because we started this season with some real close games, I think we kind of, like Clank said, we kind of gave a little bit more expectation to this team to what it really should be. I know throughout before the preseason when we was talking about things and even on the page, I kept saying constantly whenever somebody would kind of say something about it, I said, they're trying to lose, right? I know I kept saying that. They're trying to lose. They actually building a losing roster. But once you saw them come out with the San Francisco game and then the next game after, I think it was Green Bay, every game the Bears have actually been in the game, which has been kind of interesting. Almost every game has gone down to either last possession or next to the last possession. But you know what? That means they, and I believe Jay even said that they a hard trying team, a try hard team. So these games gonna be close. But I believe as the competition increases and when you start experiencing these losing streaks, try hard sometimes starts to fade because some people start losing confidence. Hey Jay, what you have?
And see, that's what's gonna happen because these guys are professionals, so they want to win. They're not going out there like we're gonna lose. They're going out there and when you try hard, you stay competitive. And the Bears are going to be competitive, but when you're losing games like this last night, and then you lost the game against the Giants, games that you actually were in and thought you had an opportunity to win, that's what happens. Now it's going to start sliding, because like you say, Bernard, they're going to be like, okay, we in every game and we trying to win, but we continue to lose. And this is a stretch of the schedule where these were the games that at least me, I was predicting that, okay, we got a chance against this team. We got a chance against this team. It's finna get to a point now where when you look at the schedule, they ain't got a chance. Right. They don't have a chance. Right. I'm jumping all the way to December. The Bears ain't gonna win. Not three of the games that they got in December. They're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. So Monday night against the Patriots, is it a good game? Is it a game where they can possibly win? The Patriots ain't world beaters. Albeit the game is gonna be on the road, it's gonna be a Monday night game, which for some reason the Bears just can't win in prime time. I don't understand why NFL keep putting the Bears on prime time, man. We can't win in prime time. They don't deserve it. But because the Bears draw fans, the NFL is like, we're gonna put them in prime time. But it's getting to that point in the schedule where it's gonna be really, really tough. And these losses continue to mount. You hear Justin Fields week after week. His confidence is up there, but at the same time, you can tell how he lagging now in his voice. And
I don't know if the brother
become very difficult.
Listen to his commentary and the interview that he had immediately after the game. So the one thing he said was, we always talk about that we're getting close or that we're close.
We're getting close.
And he was just like, I'm tired of talking about
I'm tired of being close.
I'm tired of talking about being close. It needs to happen. And I think that was almost like a shot at his teammates for not doing their job.
Absolutely.
And the coaching staff and the front office for not bringing in talent. I think he was letting them know, like, man, this can't continue. It really can't. It really can't, because another thing that I noticed last night, man, was he was taking a lot of hits, man.
A lot of them.
Like, he was getting blazed. Now, I will say this. Some of the hits that he took were self-imposed. He felt that he needed to jump in the air to try to get the best launch point before he threw the ball and wound up with a linebacker in his chest. But I think that'll change because he's like, okay, I don't want to get hit anymore. And he'll start to do some things to avoid contact, which is what he needs to do to save himself. But he's getting tired. And as the brother just pointed out, the rest of the team is going to start to get tired too. And when you talk about the schedule, you talk about how you have great games that are circled. Like, okay, they might be able to get a win here, but as we're going, further in the season, I don't have too many more games circled. I think I said maybe 5 to 6 wins this year based on the moves that they had made, but it might be 2 or 3. It might be.
Plank. Plank. I look. Dwayne, who's watching us on Facebook, and we'd like to thank everybody who's watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Dwayne said there was 3 trips to the red zone, no points. I mean, what's up with that?
Well, at the core of what the problems that everybody is talking about and all of the fans are actually getting behind is the Chicago Bears is a team that is built on heart and desire. And that's great. But the truth of the matter is it's only going to take you so far. In the NFL, the NBA, all of the major leagues, you're not going to win without talent. So, we got a lot of guys that want to and just going to sweat a little bit and try harder. But the other teams that we're playing in the NFL are just more talented than we are. And that's the truth of that. We keep saying, let's get rid of these guys. These guys want to win. They want to work hard. They're ready to sweat or whatever, but they don't have what it takes to be truly inspirational and effective NFL players. I'm afraid to say that, but I think that's the truth. So that's why we're ending up getting in the red zone. We don't have true difference makers out there because that's where that talent differential kind of explodes itself more often than not.
Okay, and I want to share a screen real quick, and Jay, you can jump in as soon as I pull the screen up. Tim had just mentioned about Justin being sacked, and some of them may be self-imposed. What happened on my screen? Hold on. I don't know. I come back to it. Somehow my screen went blank on it. But yeah, Jay, go ahead. Say what you're saying. I'm gonna try to pull this up.
No, I was just saying to piggyback off of what Tim's saying, to go back to what everybody talking about, like, we're going to have money to spend. What free agent want to come here right now? you have all the money in the world, but are you going to attract the talent? Are you going to attract the talent to come here and be a part of this rebuild? And, we got a lot of guys on 1-year contracts. Some of these guys ain't going to be here next year. But who's to say just because you got a lot of money, and I know it's the NFL and people do chase the players do chase the money, but who's to say you're going to attract star talent?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, I can tell you right now, you're going to have to spend some of that $100 million on Roquan because he's leading the NFL in tackles. I don't know why you would let him go.
Stop.
I don't know why you would let him go.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not even thinking about Roquan. I'm not even thinking about right now. I'm thinking about protection for your young quarterback and some weapons that he can get the ball to. Because guess what? If you follow the Philadelphia template,
right?
Everybody was talking about Jalen Hurts. Oh, well, I don't know if he was going to be. He should have been a Bear. That's all I'm going to say. I'll keep moving. He should have been a Bear. But and y'all know what I'm talking about. But if you follow the Philadelphia template, they traded for a wide receiver. They drafted a wide receiver. They signed a bunch of offensive linemen. Right now, they 5-0. And I'm going to tell you one thing. We was looking at the schedule at work. I was laughing at people. I was like, everybody thinks Philly ain't for real. Yeah, Philly for real. Because guess what? If they win against Dallas Monday night, their next big test is not until, like, I want to say week 10 or week 11 against the Packers. Philly for real. Jalen Hurts is the truth, but you got to surround your back. You got to y'all cut it out. Go, Ma. you got to surround your young quarterback with some talent.
Hey, now here's the first sack of Grant. I hope the viewers can see this because I know it's a little bit bright. This was the first sack of the game, and when you look at this formation, it's a clean pocket. And the one thing I do notice with Justin at time, even right here, initially the announcer said it ended up being a sack. He said it was a cover sack. Actually, the receiver who to the left, if you throw it a little bit in front of him, he actually is open. That's
He's
NFL open.
That's NFL open.
Yeah,
That's NFL open.
Right.
Yeah, and this
That's
is the
NFL
short.
open.
Now, even the guy at the top, right? If you throw that a little bit out in front of him on the right side,
He's open.
That's
He's
NFL open
Mhm.
too. So basically, what Justin does on his play is he's staring at the guy, which me and Plank know this last night. Unless it was the scripted plays, he looks at only the right side of the field. And when he caught Pettis, right, that was rare because the D-backs probably had been used to him staying at the right side of the field. So when he threw back to Pettis on the left, that's probably why he had the separation, because the D-back probably was not thinking he was on throwing that side of the field. But anyway, he's staring at the guy on the right side of the field, and he's not sure if he's going to do. So he dances a little bit to the pocket. Then that's when the guy right over the center breaks in because he loses containment, and then Justin rolls to the right, and this is where he's tackled, he's sacked, and his pouch comes off his waist.
Right.
But if you look at that, Bernard, can you put that back up?
Yep.
Look at number 62. Look at number 62.
Blocking nobody.
Who he blocking?
Number 62. Hold on, let me see if I can-
Number 62. Number 62, right there, right a little bit, right there. Who's he blocking?
Nobody.
He looks like he's trying to assist, but he's not assisting on anything.
He's not assisting nobody.
Yeah.
He's not assisting nobody. That's
Yeah.
Let me ask you all a question. Let me pose a question to you guys. Do you think he's not going through his progressions? We're talking about Justin now. He's not going through his progressions because he's too concerned about being tackled, because he has no protection from guard to guard, or some people even say from tackle to tackle. He has no protection. So do you think he's looking more at the rush as opposed to the receivers?
I think he's thinking too much and not playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my assessment of Justin Fields right now. You're thinking too much and you're not playing your game. It's like, go through your progressions. You only have 3 seconds in the NFL to go through progressions. It's like, snap, 1, 2, 3. I need to read and see what's going to happen. He's thinking too much, and that's his problem. Just like the missed touchdown to the tight end in the end zone. That guy was wide open. But he hesitated. He hesitated to throw that ball because he's thinking too much. And I just think they got away from what they did in the second half against the Vikings. I thought that would carry over to this game, but it didn't carry over because last night I saw him still thinking too much and not playing this game.
He definitely reverted.
Jay, I've always said that I thought he was – I said this early on. I thought he was analytical back there. I said that constantly. I would say it looks like he's thinking too much, just like Jay said. And also, of course, if you start getting sacked this often,
shell shock,
you do start seeing goals. And, it's a weird thing that happened with quarterbacks, period, when they get hit a lot. Justice is a tough guy. No doubt about that. And so he's going to experience the thing that, to me, what you see would say a guy like Jay Cutler. They hang in there because they're tough physically. So they start taking a beating. Guys who don't really could take that beating start throwing the ball up for grabs. So what ended up happening when you get sacked a lot, either your clock slows down or it speeds up real fast. But slowing down seems almost kind of odd because you would think he would throw it. But really, he could take the hits. So he's hanging in there much longer than he should hang in there. Like even this play I just showed you. If he wanted to, he could have just took off right up the center of the field. That was damn near 25 yards of clean space. That,
right.
The way they was blocking it. So, and I don't want anybody listening to this thinking that we're blaming the loss on Justice. We're not. But you do have to execute in this game. In football, it's all about execution. It's execution by everybody. You get to the red zone 3 times. Hey, when I look at that play, I don't know what Justin was throwing at. How do you hit a guy in the back of the helmet that didn't even jump up? I mean, that was kind of an odd, but in the red zone, it's almost rare that you throw a pass right in the middle. That's a line drive, right? You may have to throw it high or something, but it's like he cocked up, and when he threw it, he pretty much hit the guy that was right in front of him. What did you see in that play?
You were asking me about that
Yes.
play? Yeah, you know what? It's hard. At the end of the day, Justin Fields is a human being. And because he's a human being, you have to start responding to things that are going to allow you to sustain yourself. We keep talking about habits and he's looking too fast or whatever. If he's constantly worried about somebody hitting him in the mouth, hurting his shoulder, hurting his knees, he's not going to be anywhere near as effective as he can be at the position of quarterback. It's almost like the David Carr syndrome. David Carr was a great quarterback, was a rookie, but he took so much abuse that first year he was ruined for the rest of his NFL career.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we really have to worry about with the Justin Fields. I agree with you, Lavelle. He does need talent around him. And from an offensive lineman standpoint, let me just make a quick point on that. An offensive lineman's job is to hit somebody every doggone play. So if there's an offensive lineman that's looking around for somebody to hit, you have to think, well, wait a minute. That means somebody is somewhere else.
That means, right. Absolutely.
That's going to affect us negatively. There's no way that Patrick should be running around there looking like, oh, I ain't got nobody to block. Dude, didn't you just count 6 guys? If you ain't got nobody to block, you got to find where these other guys are going. So I'm a little bit concerned about Justin Fields relative to not him being tough. I think he's actually probably too tough, and that may be a detriment to his overall progression. He needs to be able to very quickly make that 1, 2, 3 read. If he can get back to the first read after the third one, great. If he can't, he needs to figure out how to throw it away or just, hit somebody on the side of the helmet when they ain't looking, and the receivers will start coming around a little bit quicker and looking for the ball. That's my perspective. So
and see, I just think it's a thing where Justin, as good as he was in college, and I was talking about this yesterday, as good as he was in college, he had the athletes around him to make him better. You had a lot. You had a Chris Olave and a Garrett Wilson and Smith and Jigba. You had all these guys. You just throw them the ball and they open. Right. But guess what? In the NFL, you have to trust that your guys are going to be open. And it's a lot of passes that he don't pull the trigger on. These guys are NFL open. Now, if they make the play, we don't know. But they NFL open. They're not going to be open like they were at Ohio State. But they are NFL open. And you gotta put the ball out there. You gotta let it go, Justin. And that's the thing that you're not doing. Trust what you see and let it go. Trust what you see and let it go.
When we were
there's such a thing as throwing somebody open too.
That's the NFL. In the NFL, you throw unless you Justin Jefferson against the Bears last week where he was just wide open every play. The NFL is all about throwing somebody open. You either gonna scheme somebody open or you're gonna throw them open unless they wide open. That's what the NFL is. Patrick Mahomes do it all the time. Guys ain't open, but he scheme them open. No, you scheme them open. You got to scheme them open.
Okay.
Yeah, even in yesterday's game, we were first of all, I was surprised when Dante Pettis made a catch. Going across the middle.
So was I.
I was surprised that he made the catch. However, one of the things that I did notice, when he got that touchdown catch, me and Bernard were talking about it, it seemed like to me that he actually was juggling the ball on that touchdown. So I thought they should have actually threw the flag to see whether or not he actually allowed it. Everybody talks about, oh, this guy got a touchdown. I'm like, I haven't seen him catch the ball cleanly a whole lot of times. That just kind of goes to that whole thing about, talent versus heart. And, what we've seen is an amalgamation of all of that together. It seems like we're just a lot of the skill positions, offensive linemen and receivers, we're lacking. And, that just means we got to get comfortable with these kind of games.
Okay.
And I told my boy Ed on the touchdown catch. I'm looking at the score. I'm looking at the jumbotron like, did he actually catch that? Are they going to review this? I was really looking. It took several times, but it took several times for me to look at it and like, okay, yeah, that is a touchdown, but that was close. That was real close.
Note that they can't throw flags on scoring drives. Supposedly it's automatically reviewed.
It's automatically reviewed.
It is.
That's what they did. That's what they said. But
I think New York gave him a break.
It looked questionable.
New York gave him a break. Yeah, that was a break.
Hey, give him some. It's Thursday night. We ain't scored a touchdown in 8 quarters.
Somebody get in the end zone.
Hey, so when the Bears, okay, so let's diagnose this game as it unfolded. So the but the second drive, the Bears they drive down to the red zone, and they get a turnover where it's deflected off a person helmet and it bounces in the air. They get an interception. Okay, I think the next drive was the run by Herbert,
Yep.
right? How many yards was that?
64. I believe it's 64.
Okay, so Herbert. Let's look at these running yards. Herbert had 7 carries for 75 yards. Demo had 15 carries for 67 yards. Velus Jones had 1 carry for 8 yards. Hold on, make sure I'm at the right place. Yeah, 1 carry for 8 yards. Then the other 2 guys had 1 yard and minus 1 yard. When you look at the Bears, I wish I had the total in front of me. The Bears dominated them on total offense as far as yards. So when you went down to that possession, like was mentioned by Tim, Herbert gets them down there. Then they turn around and give him the ball 3 straight times. And my problem with that is, one, he is tired. Okay, you may try to reward him 1 play if he's ready to go, but not 3 times. He's not your short yardage guy. And to me, you're running behind the worst offensive line of the 5 guys out there, which is Sam Mustafa. I mean, all those plays seem like they just went in the same exact hole, like you was just gonna overpower them. But like I said, you still running behind the worst guy. Jay, what you thought about that call? Those calls.
My problem is every time they got in the red zone, which is this is just the analytics of the NFL right now. When we get in the red zone, we throwing. My brother said last night, he was like, "What a fullback at?"
Right.
First
that you signed in free agency.
First and goal on the 5, and here we go again. 3 wide with a tight end in the split, 1 shotgun. It doesn't make sense. Like you just read off the numbers. Khalil Herbert, 7 carries, 75 yards. 15 carries for D Montgomery, 60-something yards. Hell, Justin Fields had 87 yards rushing. I don't understand why you want to throw the ball in a space that's already now condensed, because you got the 5-yard line to the goal line in the end zone. You only got 15 yards to work with. I don't understand why you just can't line up and run the football, because the bottom line is the Bears offensive line, what they can do is they can run block. They can't pass block, but they can run block. You got to get the ball in the end zone via the ground, and everybody wants. This ain't college, like I say it all the time. This ain't college. We're not looking for style points. All we looking for touchdowns. All we looking for is touchdowns. And it's for some reason they just won't do it.
Okay. Hey, if you're watching Bears Banter out on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Thank everybody who's watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Hey, Tim, are you looking for those naked boots in those situations? I mean, I haven't seen a naked boot all year.
I think playing against the New York Giants gave us some ideas, of ways that we can effectively use just in the running game. I'm not asking them to be the 2019 Baltimore Ravens and have 1,000-yard rushes. 2 guys do that, but I think they need to look at that script right now. They're trying to salvage any positives out of this season. I know we want a balanced attack. I know we want 25 or 30 carries, 25, 30 passes. But that really isn't a winning script or plan when it comes to the Bears this season, because they can't really pass block, and the passing game is a huge, huge problem for them. So as Jay said, I really think we need to lean on that running game just to be competitive. Simply that.
Okay.
Not get blown out of the games. Try to build some confidence with these young guys, because, I mean, we do have the youngest roster in the NFL, but we definitely need to try to stack a couple of wins. I mean, it's going to be hard, though. You look at the schedule, it is going to be tremendously difficult to get more than maybe 4 at this point, because you've given away your games that you really had a strong chance to win. You've given them away. So now you're really going to be struggling. You're really going to be struggling here.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what you're saying, Tim, not only are they running, when they actually run, they go to that right behind Mustafa and or Patrick. I don't understand why they don't even try to switch it up and target running behind Tevin Jenkins and Larry Borum. These dudes are people movers at the best. Tevin Jenkins is actually a monster as a run blocker. So I don't understand why every time they've gotten short distance, they've run it right up behind Sam Mustafa, which is our weakest offensive lineman. Mark, you got a great point about trying to use St. Brown. I think he's 6'5". I think he probably shrinks on game days. He might be like 6'1". That's a great point, Mark.
It is.
So,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cole Kmet, like you mentioned a few weeks ago, Cole Kmet is 6'6", 265, and you don't see anything that goes to him. And I don't like to see the empty sets in the red zone. I don't like seeing empty sets in the red zone or in short yardage situations. And what I also noticed, we don't run anything. If we do run on red zones, we don't run anything wide. It's always where all the congestion at. Like, okay, our guys are going to bully your guys. Okay, if you do that, then bring that fullback in. You got to bring that fullback in, because just in case somebody gets some penetration, you got somebody coming through the hole. But hey, I want to show one more play.
Because
Hold on, I'm sorry. This is supposed to start up like this.
Because I want to say,
y'all to look at go ahead, Jay.
Because I want to say, to piggyback off what Plank said, right now our best 2 linemen is on the left side, is on the right side of the line. Jenkins and Borum are the only ones that's actually physically moving people off the ball.
Yeah.
And I told my buddy Ed yesterday, I'm like, what team in the NFL have 2 5th-round starting tackles?
Nobody.
Right.
But our right side of our line is the best 2 line. We have the best 2 linemen on the right side, at right guard and at right tackle.
Hey, I want to show this 4th and 3
I'm
play. I want to show this 4th and 3 play. I'm gonna kind of let it run, then we rewind it. I hope it shows at normal speed for the viewers. So, like I said, this play was 4th and 3.
Here, but look at the crosser. Remember the down and distance, situational football. Think about
Look at that.
right there.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Wow.
So let me rewind this again.
Wow.
For those who really didn't see it.
Look at the crosser. Remember
the crosser.
Oh, Lord.
Clean pocket, right? Clean pocket.
Wow.
But you can see that guy in the middle. He's about to break through pass. Look like Lucas Packard.
And everybody else running down the field with their back turn.
He's
right.
He's open.
Now what is the guy in the middle? Hold on. Who is this right here? Right in front of him, who looked like he's pushing his own man in the back.
Mustafa.
Yeah, it is.
Mustafa puts his own man in the back. Yeah. Who are you blocking, dude? And in the meantime, you got Patrick. So I don't even know what the play call is, but that should have been a double team with Patrick and Mustafa on that guy that's pushing Patrick into the backfield. That was a double team right there, because I believe that's Jenkins who's got his man, and then the man next to him, he's spying because he's in coverage, and you got a crosser coming right across. All you got to do is hit him.
Right.
All you got to do is hit him.
Bernard, I think that's a really good example of Justin locking in on one guy.
That's football 101 right there. That's
Yeah,
football 101 right there.
he's missing open receivers, and this is every game.
Oh
This
my
is every
God,
game.
that is
That's
football
because
101.
when he's hitting the open receiver, they're dropping the ball. So
Well, that too.
But you
That too.
still got to go to the open man, though, Plain. You still got to do that.
I'm gonna go through the guy that's gonna catch the ball.
So in this play, I
That is sad.
Yeah, he's wide open. He's wide open.
And this is being aware of the situation. You only needed 3 yards, and this guy is right at the stick. You can see the yellow line right there is open.
There he is. There he
He's
is.
locked in on that
There's
guy.
nobody
And if you
around
look
him,
at it,
right?
I don't know if they're running the right routes, both of them.
Who is that, Bernard? Who is that? Can we zoom in at all and see who that is running free? Who is that?
And he's free for a reason.
That's Dante Pettis.
I think it's Pettis. I can't zoom in on it.
It's probably Smith Martin. Probably Smith Martin.
Yeah, that's what it looked like it was.
The sad thing about that is I ain't even talking about Justin didn't hit the man. I'm looking at the offensive line blocking. That's sad, man.
It's sad.
That is pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic that you got guys out here ain't busting for
Who's on dope? Okay. Mustard's on dope. All right.
That's sad that you got a professional offensive lineman ain't blocking nobody. He ain't blocking nobody. What are your assignments? It's like the whole right. It's like the whole left side of the Bears line don't know what their assignments are.
No.
And that's been for the last couple of games. Like I said, I sent y'all that video when they played the Giants, and it was like, did nobody know who they was blocking? It's like, know your assignment? Y'all don't even know your assignment.
It's either that or they can't get to him physically. Like they physically can't get to whoever is supposed to be blocking.
Then you
It's one or the other.
run off. That's an attempt. So,
You know what? As much as I don't like what I saw from Mustafa last year and this year, I am not excited about Lucas Patrick getting that center. To be honest, I haven't seen anything from
Trash.
him at all.
Trash. Trash. Kid Rocks. Trash.
He can't play, bro. I don't know what they see in this guy, but that dude can't play.
Trash.
I've seen enough of Patrick Lucas to say, or Lucas Patrick, or whatever his name is. I've seen enough of him to know he can't play.
Smith Martin and Lucas Patrick need to pack bags, clean out your lockers.
And
Bad.
And the only other person I can say on this team, that defensive end, Muhammad, no disrespect, but man, I haven't heard that name called all year. I don't see him making no play. Well,
Wait. Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn.
Go ahead.
stealing money.
Hey, let's wrap up the offense and move over to the defense. But a few points on the offense is, we know it's the blocking is not that good. We know we have guys dropping passes. I would say the best unit on the offense is the 3 guys in the backfield, the quarterback and the 2 running backs. The best thing going on the offense. As far as grade, I'm going to give the offense a D.
Because they scored the 1 touchdown? That's the only reason why it's not an F, right?
Yeah. That's the only reason it's not an F. And they got down to those zones. You know what? Let me think about that. I'm going to give them an F because you got down there 3 times and did not score. And you blew that opportunity at the end. And I will say that Mooney play, 2 things happened in my opinion. I wish I had to show it. One was that ball needs to be thrown a little bit better because Mooney almost had to grab it off his back, but that's here or there. And he needed to cleanly catch that ball, which made it short. But I'm just saying 2 things happened. He contorted his body. It was a little bit better thrown, but no excuse because he still had the ball. But once he double clutched it, that was it because he did not get he couldn't extend the ball then because he needed to double catch it to even bring it down at that point.
Had he caught it at his highest point, Bernard, that would have been a touchdown. Instead, he juggled it. He juggled it, and then when he actually gained control, he was at the 1.
Right. Yep.
And the thing about that play was I stood there and looked at that so many times because I'm like, he juggled it, he came down with it, and he hit the pylon. You know, in the NFL, when you hit the pylon, that's a touchdown. So I really had to study that. But then when I looked at it again, even if they would have reviewed it, his left arm, his left elbow was already out of bounds when he controlled the ball. But to Tim's point, had he made the initial catch,
clean catch,
it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown.
They did break the plane. They broke the plane.
One other comment I want to make about Dante Pettis. It reminds me of the old 1972 Los Angeles Lakers. They were down by 2 points. The best player on their team was Jerry West. He's the logo of the NBA. 4 guys guarded Jerry West. That left Pat Riley open, and Pat Riley kept shooting the shot, and he kept missing. And Jerry West asked him about it later on in the locker room, say, "Why do you keep taking that shot?" He said, "Because I'm open." Jerry West said, "Why do you think you're open?" Because everybody knows he's not going to catch. He's not going to hit the shot.
He's not going to hit the shot.
Dante Pettis. Every time we see him running through the field, we're like, "He's open. They should have hit him." Why would you have to guard him? He's a DB's dream. I would love to guard this guy. I just let him run around and be like, "Yeah, he's gonna drop it," and that's exactly what he does.
Hey, that catch was luck. That touchdown catch was just luck.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for saying it. I agree. I'm not going to say disappointment all season. He's been disappointing all season.
To me, in the NFL, you know, as bad as your team is, these guys are in the NFL for a reason because they NFL players. So I'm not gonna say, they are. I mean, they might be 3rd tier, 4th tier, 5th tier, but you're in the NFL for a reason. And the touchdown, I'm not gonna call it luck. You know, he made a play, but at the same time, you know, he don't make plays. But what I was saying off screen, I want to get back to the Velus Jones thing because I heard a revelation today as I was listening to Sports Talk, and they was talking about how Velus Jones is 25 years old, and he was at USC for 4 years. He played 6 years in college of college ball. 2 years at Tennessee, 4 years at USC. Nobody even ever heard of him at USC. So he goes to 4 years at USC. He had 39 catches and 1 touchdown in 4 years. He goes to Tennessee. He has a breakout year in his 6th season. He had 800 yards and some change with I think 8 touchdowns. But what they were saying was, okay, you're 24 years old. So now you're a man playing against 18 and 19-year-olds. Are you as good as your stats say? And at this point, I'm looking at him like, you know what? I think Ryan Poles made a mistake on this one. I really do. And y'all know I hold wide receivers to the utmost respect. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I think Ryan Poles made a mistake on this one, especially when you had the George Pickens and the Sky Moore and all these guys available that you passed up. So I just want to put that in about Velus Jones. Because
what's your grade on the offense, Jay?
F.
Okay, Clank.
You know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I'll take that back. I digress. I give him a D. I give him a D because we did run the football effectively when we had a chance. And Justin, at the end, still gave this offense a chance to win this game.
Okay.
So I have to give him a D.
I'm going to give him a D minus.
D minus? Okay. What about you, Tim?
I would go D minus, and the only reason it's not F because they did get the one score. That's it. I mean, well, 239 yards on the ground for the game. That's good. That's real good. But unfortunately, it doesn't add up to points. So D minus.
Yeah, Chin. Yeah, that's what it was. He's the 18-year-old playing with 12-year-olds. Yep, yeah, exactly right.
But I was going to say something to Jay's point. I heard an interesting stat, too, on 670 today that in his college career, he only returned kicks like 6 times. So he's not really a prolific kick.
Punts.
Yeah. He's not really a prolific returner. So they definitely have to address that because you just can't keep giving the ball away in special teams. You need those possessions,
especially in the red zone. When you turn the ball over in the red zone like that on punts, that's putting your defense in a very vicarious position. For real.
At the end of the day, he still runs a 4.240, so they're trying to find a place for him.
Yeah. You know,
end rounds are good. Put him on end rounds. That works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Tim, I think that was 6. I think that was 6 punts that he returned.
Punts, okay, right.
Yeah. I think he returned more kickoffs, but to not belabor that particular point, if you go look at the first punt that he caught in the game yesterday, it scared the heck out of me because that first punt he caught,
I said that last week. It's almost like he'd be like,
it was like he sat down. Now the Bears special teams coach should not be putting them out there because I can't see that he's probably struggling with punts in practice, or he hasn't practiced because he just came off an injury. Punts are hard to catch, right? It's not like you just go out there.
Yes, they are.
I mean, it's all like depth perception and everything because that one he muffed last week and the one he muffed this week, it looked like he misjudged where the ball was at, which caused the ball to almost hit the side of his face.
Yeah, the ball hit the side. The ball hit his helmet last night.
Yes, it did.
As he was struggling. And Bernard, that's a good analogy. You say depth perception because he was backing up. He's like, oh wait, and the ball actually was behind him, and it hit him in the head.
Yeah, he looked terrified when he was trying to make that catch. He looked terrified and looked like he lost the ball in the lights. But that doesn't explain what happened against the Giants when you're playing in daytime. I mean, it just seems
in the darkness. I'm sorry.
You know what, Tim? I'll tell you what happens. It don't matter if it was lights. See, punters in college pretty much just kick the ball one way. They just punt it and it's just in the air. Man, these pro
in the
guys,
NFL,
man, they have all sorts of ways they punt that ball, man.
And everything.
They got the ball twirling, the ball turns sideways.
End over end.
End over end.
Yep.
You don't know what you see.
Yeah, right. And don't put him. There's no reason to put him back there again.
You can't. You can't.
2 scores late in the game. They don't even have a touchdown yesterday. If he does not, at least the way the game unfolded, they don't have a touchdown if he does not muff that ball. And he did the same thing. And ironically, the weird thing in both games were there was a blocked field goal last week that gave the offense a chance to get the ball back. This week, it was a mixed field goal that gave you a chance because if they hit that field goal, that last drive is
that's it, right? It's a moot point.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yep. So hey, we got all the grades. We got F, a couple of D minuses, and a D on the offense. Let's move over to the defensive side of the field. What was? Let's start with this. What was the strongest unit out there? Was it the O line? Was it not the O line? Was it the D line? Was it the secondary? Was the linebacker?
The secondary. Because I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what happened with Eddie Jackson, but I'm gonna tell you something. This dude is playing ball.
Bojack cereal.
Eddie
cereal.
Eddie Jackson and Eddie Jackson and Jaquan Brisker, them dudes balling out, man. They are straight. Our safeties are straight balling out.
Yeah, I think Brisker's presence has reinvigorated Eddie Jackson. Because I wrote him off. I
Yes,
thought
it
he was
has.
a bust. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? After 2018, that was just lightning in the bottle. You're not that good. But he's proving something to me because you see him now aggressively go after tackles. And he wasn't like that
Blitzing.
before. He wasn't like
Blitzing. I mean, hitting the A gap. This dude hitting the A gap in the backfield on the snap of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our safeties right now are our secondary and our safeties specifically is the strength of this team right now. I still don't know who our strong side linebacker is. Nick Morrow, he make a flash play here and now. Ruckwan do what he do. But outside of that, our defensive line is bad. Our defensive line is bad.
Very bad.
Hey, Plank, with you being a college defensive back, I mean, what you seeing? What's the change that you see this year in Eddie Jackson, and and that's the way the secondary is playing? Because even Vildor, to me, I mean, he might have had a game here and there, but Vildor has looked pretty solid to me this year. I mean, what's the difference that you see?
Well, if nothing else, I see a whole lot more confidence in them. Vildor, it's amazing to actually look at. If we look at a film from last year, which I've actually done, I looked at Vildor 7-8 yards off the ball, and then they go to the receiver the ball 5 yards. He got to come up and make a tackle. A lot of time he misses that. That's a big play. When I looked at yesterday, between Jalen Johnson and Vildor, they were 1 or 2 yards off the receivers, which meant a couple things. One, that you have no respect for that receiver's speed and ability. You like, this guy ain't going to beat me. I don't care what's going on, which means from a scheme perspective, they know that they can count on Eddie Jackson to pick up some slack or what have you. So some of it is part of the alignment. The other part, these guys are actually playing like they mean to play defense. Vildor is now getting a lot of tip passes. He got an interception last week. So they look like a competent defensive backfield. So, which is a welcome surprise from my perspective with what we're seeing with the Bears. And Mark Chin, you're right. Don't throw the basketball to the guy can't shoot. I don't care what happens.
Hey, Mark Chin said he had called it on the Eddie Jackson play. John Muhammad said the D-line is whack. And that's one of the things, the point I was trying to make, in one of the shows was if the other defensive players were giving it that same effort that we seen in the secondary, right? They would just even make plays just from this pure hustle.
Turnovers.
Right?
Get some more turnovers.
Yeah, because these guys, I mean, that secondary to me they look confident, and to me they're holding up very well with there being no pass rush, right? I'm not saying they're not gonna get burned to play,
right?
But there's no pass rush at all.
No pass rush. Right.
Muhammad Muhammad's still doing nothing at all.
What happened to Gibson? What happened to Gibson? I mean, he was making some splash plays early on, but now you don't hear his name called at all.
He's not on the field. Because he's not on the field. That's why. But the bottom line is, I said that last week, that Travis Gibson needs to be on the field because Muhammad ain't making no plays.
Nothing.
We're not hearing his name. He's not making no plays. And you'll take Robert Quinn. But see, the thing about Robert Quinn, as Plank say, as he steals money, he benefited. He benefited off of having Mac and Akeem there last year, albeit they only played a few games together. But he was able to do what he did last year because of those guys. Now that he's the focal point, he's not going to make those plays. And
line up against Charles Leno. Give me a break.
Come trade deadline, November 1st.
Disgraceful.
If you could get something for Robert Quinn, come trade deadline November 1st. Go ahead and do it.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it.
That's great.
Yeah,
but
I believe they was trying to trade him this summer, but I think they didn't really get what they wanted.
Right.
Yeah, and I know some of the fans, because they was seeing that rebuilding was taking place, when his name got floated, there were people who was angry, right? Like, oh man, why they gonna try to get rid of Robert Quinn too?
But he's an
Robert
asset.
Quinn has got rid of himself at this point.
Yeah. He's an asset.
The bottom line is,
he's not anymore. not an asset now.
45-year-old haircut.
Because the bottom line is he's not making plays for you anyway.
Right.
So what are you missing? He's not making plays for you anyway. So what are you missing?
Does anyone know what his salary is? Because we could just go ahead and buy him out, man. Like
I want to say
12 to 15 million this year.
No, it's actually a little bit more. I want to say it's something like 18.4, something like that for this year and next year, maybe.
You need to buy him out and let him go. Buy him out.
See, I think what it was is, and I don't have the number in front of me. I remember the number last year for sure. Last year, what the problem was the salary cap hit. The salary cap hit, I want to say it was close to 39 million because they paid Stu a lot of money. And so the problem is with him, if you cut him right now, you got the hit. So once you start reading certain deadlines, you're not already committed the money anyway. So you can get something, you might as well just get some at this point from him because you're getting nothing out of him. And you could at least try to maybe get Robinson and some of those guys more playing time. In my mind. Hey, what's up, guy? I see guy out there. Hold on, what guy said? Guy said
he ain't crapped enough to he's here to steal. He robbed.
Hey, Bernard, before we get off of this, I have to say this. Are we really gonna act like we didn't see Carson Wentz blow Roquan Smith up?
No, we have to talk about that.
I think
that can't happen, bro.
Player. I keep telling everybody that.
That can't happen,
just
bro.
because I like him doesn't mean I'm blind. Are we really acting like we didn't see a quarterback come and take the numbers of our middle linebacker?
I told y'all, my coach used to say, keep your head on the swivel. He didn't keep his head on the swivel. And Carson Wentz got the best of him. But at the same time, like I told y'all, I ain't mad at him because he got blasted, but he got up and was still part of that tackle. But you got to keep your head on the swivel, Roquan. You got to keep your head on the swivel.
That quarterback might have actually cost Roquan about $5 million.
I agree, and I agree with you.
It's a
it
shame.
Is sad. It is sad. It's sad. It is. It is.
Highlight of a quarterback hitting them and putting them on his butt.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? That play cracks me up because it kept making me think about the time where Ocho Cinco tried to lay out Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
And for those who didn't see it, that play was hilarious because Ocho Cinco just knew he was about to get this shot at Ray Lewis. Ran, and just as he got close, Ray saw him, knocked him out. He's on the sideline. They're like, "You all right?" He was like, "Man, I was trying to get Ray Lewis." And they're like, "You all right?" No.
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
Keep your head on the swivel. Keep your head on the swivel. That's all I can say. But yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad.
I mean,
but don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, some it happens. It happens in the NFL.
Carson Wentz is a big quarterback. He's like
Carson Wentz is a big, 6'5", 250.
He's a big dude.
Yeah,
he's big.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's one of them plays, man. You may just have to just get up to save face and just push the dude, right?
Right.
You just push him and say, "Hey, man, you make it look like it was a cheap shot for those until they see the replay, right?" I mean,
try to fight with him some, and that was here's the problem though. That was when there was the game winning touchdown.
Yes, it was.
So not only did it look bad, but the overall effect is you got a linebacker.
It came at the wrong opportune time.
In the fourth quarter, that's the time where you get paid, getting knocked out, getting knocked over by a quarterback for the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
Hey, and you know what?
Wentz is a big boy.
You can bring Roquan over my house if you want. I'm gonna have Carson Wentz waiting at the front door. We're gonna see what happens.
Right.
He said Wentz is a big boy. Christian said, "No, sir, he's still in my top 5." Well,
if he don't stop 1 yard touchdowns,
there's something wrong with that.
Got to shed those blocks too, man. That's another issue that's been pointed out. He's not shedding the blocks. He's not like he was. He's not doing it.
Yeah. I had said earlier the texting among us, and I don't have any information to even say this is valid or not. But to me, Roquan Smith has always been a very violent tackler. And I know Jay used to always say, man, why is he so violent? What I am seeing in Roquan is I'm seeing him, and it could just because he's out of position and stuff like that. He's diving for tackles more, even when he's right up on the guy. It kind of makes me think he may be having some kind of shoulder discomfort, whatever that might be, because you don't really see that. You know, I knew he was having some hip stuff early, but you really don't see that Roquan. It seemed like he's stepping to the side, these Olay tackles, which is kind of unusual for a Roquan. So I don't know. I'm just floating.
Yeah, he's not exploding into people. But again, Bernard, as you said, he does have a hip injury that was reported that kept him out for an entire week. I think he came back for the game, but he really didn't practice that whole week.
Yeah. Right.
It's personal with me, Roquan. I'm mad. I expect my linebackers to tackle people when they go up for 1 yard to win the game. So yeah, it's personal for me too.
Right. Mark said it's personal for me. You know that's the thing about I laugh about it is, hey, Plank always say these person was stealing money, right? We talk about players that we think are not living up to whatever the hype may be. So it's like, hey, if we say, hey, Robert Quinn is stealing money. We were saying Hakeem Hicks was doing greatest stuff he was doing. He would do dumb stuff after the play to actually extend the drive. But the funny thing about it, some people would get mad that we would point out that he did something stupid on third. Once you got to stop to extend the play. Hakeem Hicks is a great player. Yeah, but you can't do dumb stuff after the play.
You can't do dumb stuff.
Well, you can't.
So if I say, hey, Roquan is not doing what the standard I want to. I don't mean I'm hating Roquan. I'm just giving him equal criticism like I give everybody else.
And see, that's
he's my guy,
right.
So I'm not going to say nothing.
We cannot be mindless fans. We can't be mindless fans.
And see, that's
the problem is that when you say bear down and I love, the Chicago Bears, people just expect you to just go blindly along with whatever. And that doesn't work. Like if you have any intellect, if you play football on any level, I don't care if it was Pop Warner, you understand that there are plays to be made and people need to make those plays, especially when you're making millions of dollars. And if they're not, then they deserve criticism. It's just that simple. You're still a fan as you're saying it. But people deserve criticism because we have to hold these brothers to a higher standard. We have to, because it's not okay for us to not have been in the Super Bowl since 2006, and before that, 1985. I mean,
which is why I go back to the whole Justin Fields thing. I like Justin Fields. I knew this season was going to be what it was. Is it about wins or is it about development? But at the same time, I'm going to criticize Justin when he's not playing well, and I'm going to praise him when he does play well. But that touchdown that he missed on the tight end in the end zone, that's a bad pass. This dude is open. You have to hit that play. And I'm sorry. So people can say what they want, but at the same time, I'm going to criticize knowing that at the same time, it's a developmental thing. But if I don't see you getting better in your development, I still got to say it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, you got to. Yeah, that's just as like a fan. Right. It's just like Velus Jones. As a fan, I liked everything that happened with him, what he talked about during preseason and during training camp. But guess what, dude? You get on the field, you can't catch a punt. I don't trust you. That don't mean I don't like you as a player, but at the same time, right now, dude,
I don't trust you in that position.
I don't trust you in that position.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of question marks, and what's sad is that more questions than answers. I mean, you listen to the Eberflus press conference, you listen to Ryan Poles press conferences, and they say all the right things, but then you get down to the decision-making process on the field during games, and that's why I stopped listening to the press conference. I heard a little bit, tidbits here and there, but I was like, nah, you got to prove it to me that you're really worth what we say you're worth. And so far, the returns haven't been that great. They really haven't. Not confidence inspiring. Like I said, more questions than answers right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what about Eberflus' comment that one thing he did say, well, he said a few things, but one of the things he said was, when you out there, we're going to look at that. When you out there to catch a punt, you out there, your first job is to catch the punt. And he said, also, we're going to evaluate some things in this mini bye. Now, let's give a grade on the defense, and then let's talk about what you think he may mean. What they're going to evaluate? I mean, are they about to do something?
Bernard, I think he was saying that, they're going to try some other people. I think that's what he was trying to tell Velus Jones and anybody else on the team, is that if you're a poor performer, then we have to look elsewhere, and I know we are limited in terms of who we can bring up or try out or whatever.
Right.
But at this point, Joe Blow off the street might be the answer. He might. Just some guy. I mean, we had an offensive tackle last year that was actually fishing, and we gave him a call. He wound up being a starter. Yeah.
I can feel it. I might not be able to run it, but I can at least field it. Call me. I can return punts. I can field it. I can't run it, but I can field it. And that's the thing about, that's the thing about being a punt returner and a kick returner. You got to secure the ball. But, Eberflus said they're going to evaluate some stuff. It's good. They got, 10 days? 10 days before they play the next game on the road, against the Patriots. But as far as the defense is concerned, I still have to give them a grade. And it's a good grade. I give them a B. Y'all give up 12 points. Y'all give up 12 points in the NFL. Y'all give up 12 points.
Yeah.
12 points in an NFL game. Albeit it was a bad team, but the team is just as bad as you. So you on their level. So you gave up 12 points.
That's right.
I gotta give them a B. I gotta give them a B. They didn't even have 100 yards passing. They didn't even have 100. They had Carson Wentz had 99 yards passing. 99 yards.
But that's another discussion.
I'm gonna get a defense an A- because without that turnover, the defense held them through 3 points the whole game. And I mean, they only had about 8 yards to score. And what can you ask them? They had just put that stop, right? And
they just got the stop.
And it was actually, if I remember right, they were in field goal range, and they drove them back enough where they couldn't kick the field goal.
When they missed the field goal, right?
They ended up having to take the punt.
They
ended up having to take the punt. The sequel was it was all adding up to the Bears' favor. They took a delay of game to make sure, right? Because they were trying to draw them off sides to make sure that they could get a little extra yards for the punter to get in play. So I get them an A- because you hold team to 3 points without a turnover to the last minute. That's a good job. They wasn't running good on them. They wasn't passing good on them. So A-.
I go next. So we're talking about defense specifically. I agree with you, Bernard. I saw this at the game the same way. The Bears, again, they within 1-score games. So that's actually showing that they've got some good, some decent fundamental defense. Last week they gave up 29 points, and we were all over them. In an NFL game, they gave up 12 points and held the other team to, I got to give them an A-. I'm looking forward to seeing the next game in another 9 games. And Erica, I agree that game was trash.
Oh yeah, that was a horrible game. Hey Tim, what you get a defense?
I'm gonna go with a B+. I felt that to hold them to 86 passing yards, which actually there's a story behind that too, because during the week, Ron Rivera gave a vote of no confidence for Carson Wentz. So I think the franchise doesn't really trust him. to be a competent passer at this point, and he showed that he's not that great. I mean, he was not that great in Indianapolis. He wasn't that great with the Eagles, after he got his back injured. But anyway, I agree with the assessment of the secondary. I thought they were strong. Morrow is still I'm not confident in him yet, but of course I'm confident with Roquan and our D-line. They did what they could. They did get a couple of sacks. So, I guess that's something, that you can kind of build on. So I thought the defense, did an adequate job. And again, the glaring fact is that they only gave up 12 points, period.
Yeah.
I think the sacks came from Roquan and Brisker, though. I don't know that the defensive line even got a sack.
Oh, really? Oh, I take that back then. I was on there. I thought we did make a few good plays. But, I mean, okay, still, they didn't have any big runs. So the D-line did okay. They did okay. I mean, they weren't what we wanted. They didn't get the kind of pressures that we would be looking for. But, again, they were all right. All right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The thing with Rivera that Mark just brought up, he did try to explain himself and apologize for it. It was kind of awkward when I heard the original conference. They asked him what was wrong with the team, and he just said quarterback, right? I mean, well, if it was that blatant, you might as well just start the next guy, right? Just to say
that's
quarterback.
what you said, right?
And see,
that was a mea culpa, though, Bernard. That was a mea culpa. He meant what he said.
No. When I heard the initial comment, I knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was trying to throw him under the bus. He was just really stating like the state of the quarterbacks in our league, in our division, is where we at.
And our quarterback.
It didn't have nothing to do with him trying to throw crossing. To me, when I heard the initial comment, it didn't have anything to do with him trying to throw Carson Wentz on the bus. Because
he came back and apologized and said he wasn't directly at him.
He had to.
I can see how people
to say things.
He's right.
But he was right the first time.
But see, that's the problem now. But see, that's the problem now with the NFL. Everybody is so scrutinized. You got betting. They feelings hurt. You got betting
Cooper
going
Rush
on.
is playing better than Carson Wentz. Cooper Rush.
And better than Dak Prescott too.
But
I agree.
But guess what?
You're absolutely right. That's sad.
But guess what? Cooper Rush also got a whole lot more of a supporting cast than Carson Wentz do. I'm gonna tell
a great defensive line. I know they got that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say we normally do this for the pregame, but I'm gonna say my game of the week, I will be locked in. Monday, was it Monday night?
Dallas versus Eagles.
Is that Monday night?
Dallas versus Eagles.
Yes.
I'm
locked
Dallas
in.
versus Eagles.
I'm definitely locked in.
Buffalo versus KC.
Locked in.
Don't forget about that.
Buffalo KC. Buffalo KC.
Good game.
I'm locked in because the bottom line is this. I tell people right now, Philly is for real. And people don't want to think about Philly. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Jalen Hurts, who should have been a bad. That's all I'm saying.
Bad man. He's a bad man.
Jalen Hurts got some weapons put around him with an offensive line, and they've always had a good defense. I'm telling y'all, Philly for real.
Okay,
that's my game of the week.
We're gonna wrap up in the next 2 minutes. Thank everybody who's watching us on Facebook and YouTube. So hey, let's give us a real quick grade. So the special teams, I get a special teams a F. What you get the special teams, Plank?
I get a special teams an F.
F. What about you, Jay? Special teams.
F for fumble, Valence Jones Jr.
Fumbling your opportunity to show your work.
What
about you, Tim?
Yeah, Valence kind of sealed the deal, man. Let's go ahead, just give him a flag.
There you go. So it's unanimous. F.
Right.
But I do like Cairo Santos, though. I do like Cairo, though. I like
he didn't get an opportunity. He didn't get an opportunity to kick, so he don't even count.
No, he didn't even. No, because they only had 7 last night.
Right.
You do an extra point. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? And Mark Ching gets the special team an F. I believe Mark gave the defense
I
a
read
B.
it. Wow.
I believe Guy gave the defense a B. You know, with that, what we got for special teams?
A B?
The
What's a
KV.
B?
I gave it a B.
Peace out.
I'm sorry. For those who are looking for Tammy and Guy tonight, Tammy is rehearsing for her show that's coming up in a few weeks in Atlanta. I believe it's next week the show is.
It's next week.
So
Yeah.
those who are live in the Atlanta area, look up Tammy's show. I believe you can find it on Roots. I think Roots Production. I think it's Roots Production.
Russo.
Root Soul, I'm sorry. RootSoulProduction.com if you're interested in going, or look her up on Facebook, which is Tammy Harris. And it's gonna be a good show. But anyway, as far as that, what you got, Plank?
All right. Before we forget, congratulations to Dr. Mike Auden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For those who have not new to the show, Mike Alton is one of the gentlemen who come in on this show but most of the game days, because Mike is also a high school referee, so it's harder for him to do Friday shows. But Mike just completed his doctoral. He did his dissertation the other day, and so he's now officially Dr. Mike Alton. We're proud of him. And also, I like to send a prayer out to Bruce Hollywood Wilson, one of my high school teammates. Unfortunately, he had a second stroke this week, and he's back in the hospital. So we're praying for you, Bruce, to recover. Hey, anybody else got anything before we close?
No.
Once again, thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Great job.
And I would love another opportunity if you have a spot.
Hey, we definitely gonna bring you on. Hey, that to me, that's one of the special things I believe about Bears Banter. Bears Banter is where the fans meet to discuss the Bears, and those who are watching the show are the fans. So we bring in people when we have a spot who just watch the show and say, "Hey, I want to come on." So if you're out there watching Bears Banter,
you want to come on,
male or female,
bring it on.
You don't have to be an expert.
Bring it on.
Come out here and share your normal opinions. Whatever your opinions are, that share your opinions. Come on this show, man. We love to have the diversity on this program and show what you got. I mean, hey, just like Tim, this is his first time on here. I think the last Friday we had Jimmy Red. Before that, we had who else we had on this year? We didn't have Christian on a few times.
A couple times, right?
I was gonna say we had Jason Brosda.
Yeah.
We had
Jason Brosda here a few times. Yep. Oh, before we close out, I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot to bring up the bragging rights before we close. Then we definitely gotta close it out. The bragging rights is Jay Beasley is 4-2. Guys 3-3. Quick is 3-3. I'm 3-3. Tammy 3-3. Mo 3-3. I forgot to change Christian 3-3, and Plank is 2-4. Hey, what about you, Tim? What are you, Tim?
Well, you know what? I was wrong about my prediction last night. So that I took an L. I did think they would win that game. I also took an L on the Giants game. I didn't predict them winning against Minnesota, and I did not predict them winning against the 49ers. And I did not have
like 1-5.
I did not have I'm doing real bad. I did not have them winning against San Fran. So yeah, I'm 1-5. Plank, I feel you. Plank, I feel you. Yeah.
Hey, Mark knows some mutual people that know Roquan Smith, and he's gonna work on. He just put it there. He's gonna work on seeing if he could get Roquan to come on the show. We appreciate that.
Okay.
If you can't get Roquan, that'd be right on time. Hey, thank everybody for watching us this evening. Peace.